Okay, so the internet is losing its shit again. And this time it's because of 343 Industry. The worst video game developer of all time. Obviously not. And that is so clearly bullshit and basically, just to generate traffic. Because there have been some exits in the company and they did one really big mistake, which is for sure canceling local co-op, which already have been reintroduced by people that glitched it back in. And of course, those decisions from 343 Industries are stupid, no question about it. There is some disarray in the company, no question about it. Did they do one of the most competent shooters in the last 24 months? If you ask me, yes, absolutely. And the foundations for Halo Infinite are absolutely freaking amazing. From the graphics to the gameplay, even parts of the stories or the story that they are telling there are really good. Of course, it's not perfect. For example, the lack of variety in the level design is a huge issue. No question about that, and many other small issues. But overall, one of the greatest shooters mechanically without a question. So coming out as a big YouTuber, which I am not, but Charlie did, and of course Yongye did, and of course Mudaha did. They're like also becoming slowly clones of each other. Like Charlie will see Mudahar putting out a video saying 343 is the worst company in the gaming industry. And then Charlie will give his hot take on that, of course. And then Yongye will give his hot take. And all of them seem utterly replaceable while doing it. They say the same thing while not being accurate in the slightest, okay? They are one of the gaming companies that put out a fantastic game which represents the talent in the company, of course. Furthermore, there are no allegations of sexual harassment in the company, which is also a bonus, I guess, and many other things that speak for 343. Did they do massive mistakes? Yes, they cancelled the local co-op, which I think is really stupid. I agree with everybody. To say that it's the worst company in the world or to review Bomb 343 for it is just plain stupid, if you ask me. And I find it also quite boring if I can, either watch Mudaha or I can watch Charlie or I can watch Yongye, and I'm not getting any hot take because they are replicas of each other. I don't know who came out first, and I don't care, to be honest, but that's a thing, it's boring to see the same big YouTubers saying the same thing, just like parroting one each other. And you could actually see Penguin Z0 responding with really oily hair, and he looked done because, apparently there was some Twitter fallout. Unfortunately, one of those blessed people who are not on Twitter. But yeah. So, back to the question, is 343 actually the worst company in the world? I can 100% assure you it is not. Just look around you. And I just have to give you one example. Saints Row, the reboot, or many, many, many other from big, big, big productions that completely failed. And yes, 343 did some mistakes because it's not easy to take such a big franchise and, run with it. It's not an easy thing. That's where I heavily, heavily disagree with Charlie, for example. It's just ridiculous to say that. It's very, very hard to take on such a responsibility, of course, and not easy. It's directly the opposite of what he's saying in his last video, in my opinion. And what did they do? They developed Halo 4, and Halo 4 was a bit hit and miss. Definitely not the greatest Halo game of all time, but definitely not the worst Halo game of all time, I would say. I guess that throne is reserved for Halo 5, which is, of course, also by 343, and I know that. And they tried some things, they tried to rebalance the game. They introduced some things like aim down sight and I think sprinting, which is also in Halo, and everybody loves it in Halo Infinite, I mean. And in Halo 5, it was not really there yet. But where they ended up with is the most solid foundation Halo has ever rested on from a gameplay perspective. The gunplay and the gameplay is just a bit better than all the previous Halo games, including Reach, including Halo 2, including Halo 1. You can argue about the story. I would say Halo 2 is probably the greatest story of all Halo games. But gameplay-wise, they absolutely nailed it, which means that they have tremendous talent sitting at 343. So review bombing it, or for big YouTubers to come out and call out 343 as the worst gaming company in history is ludicrous and stupid. And yes, they only released 2 maps, but I hardly believe that they are not working on something in the background. It's not even 1 year since release. I would also be more happy with more content, but I'm, for example, still having a blast playing the multiplayer. I love the Infinite multiplayer so much because of the gameplay and the gunplay, because this is what really matters. Yes, there is a lack of content, no question about it, and there is a decline in player numbers and active player count, which is super normal. And look at the best game that arguably came out in the last year, which was Elden Ring. I think it has a player count decline of 95%. So yes, that's it. They need to come out with some new content. Hopefully they finally release the co-op stuff. I'm not in lack of criticism towards 343, but I'm also not fucking dumb. I'm not gonna call one of the best producers of games one of the worst producers of games. It just doesn't make any sense. It's neither objective nor fair, nor does it make sense. That's why I'm not doing it. Like, if you're criticizing a gaming company, then be more delicate about it, maybe. How about that? You can say the issue, you can name the issue without going to stupid degrees of stupidity, basically. Like this, where everybody is just like, or half of the people are saying, okay, that's complete garbage, and the other half, which arguably maybe don't even played Halo, will of course celebrate it. But yeah, that's my hot take on the matter regarding Penguin Z0, Yongye, and the 500,000 copycats that all say the same. You can put your thoughts down in the comments below. We can talk about it, of course. If you like this video, also leave a like. That helps the channel. My channel is quite small. I only have like 360 subscribers to date. Would love to grow my channel a bit. So if you're in to support a smaller gaming channel, then go for it. And hit the subscribe and hit the bell. And I see you guys in the next video. Cheers and bye-bye.